What is up? Are we on? We're live. We're live. What's up? We're the FREESTYLE on HamiltonRadio.net. I'm Ralphie Rotten, also known as DJ Noise. My right hand man, Billy the Kid. What is up? How was your weekend, brother? Well, actually, it was 2 weeks. You know, you took off the week for your birthday. How was your? How was your birthday?
I was good. Went down to Atlantic City. Hung out there with the family.
It seemed like you did a whole week celebration.
Yeah, I did.
Nah, you can't listen. You only live once, so yeah, man.
That's false. You live every day. You only die once.
Absolutely, brother. So today is I'm gonna let everybody know it's Roberto Clemente Day. The Pittsburgh Pirates are all using the number 21, just like Jackie Robinson Day. The whole league, they should retire it completely, in my opinion. Last night we felt, I was nodding off, and we felt a 3.1 earthquake on the Richter scale. I was in that, starting that deep nod, and I was getting into that sleep, and all of a sudden, boom, it hit. And I wanted to make sure it was an earthquake. I knew what it was, but I opened my door to see if it was like a speeding truck. Nothing. All I heard was crickets. I went into the room to check on the wife, and I said, "Did you feel that?" She was, "What?" So I immediately knew she slept right through it. But it's not every day we feel earthquakes. In California, wildfires are engulfing all over, California. My prayers are go out to them out there. My condolences go out to the people we lost this week. We lost a number of people. A couple friends of mine. My condolences, my prayers are with their families. We lost Lou Brock, Tom Seaver. We also lost. He wasn't here last week, but we also lost Chad Boseman as well. It's been a hell of a 2020. Obviously, we all know. Sup, Andre? Sup, Melissa? Sup, Nick? Dan? Chino? We all know how crazy this year has been already, so we're not going to even get into that. I sent out my DNA to get to know where my origins are from. I'm not going to talk about that tonight, mostly. We have a guest coming on. He'll be here shortly. Hopefully he'll be here shortly. So tell me what you've been up to.
Shit.
He's like, shit. I am hopefully I'm close to landing a job. I'm still, trying. I didn't extend my unemployment. I didn't want to go that route. So yeah, I decided to hunt, and keep hunting for a job. Going on multiple interviews. Turned down a couple different opportunities that I didn't think were just for me. Not for me, just they weren't, it wasn't South of Tiffany. It just wasn't for me. So yeah, it's been the last couple days has been emotional. I've been working on something, and it's almost there. A little bit more work to do. But my message is what you guys take on the election. What's your take on the election?
You'll have more to say about that than me.
Well, I mean,
yeah, politics are defensive and touchy. That's a setup question, but go ahead.
I am still not exactly certain about the election this year, on how it's set up to fail, the system, with corruption from both sides. That's my stance on it.
Go ahead.
I personally believe, if we can go to Walmart, we can go to Shopper, we can go to the bank, we can go out to bars, go to shore here and there. We can live our daily lives. Why the hell not can we go to a poll and legitimately, vote? Why do we have to do mail-in ballots? I think these politicians are failing the system, failing the American people.
Tell Andre to call in. Let's get his take.
Andre, if you want to call in, you can call in. You're more than welcome to call in. Be honest with you, I don't think Biden or Trump are suitable. We've seen the track record on Trump, and we've seen the track record on the sniffer. So I'm just keeping it real. 4 years ago, I was on the fence on the candidates, and 4 years later, I'm still on the fence on the candidates. And I don't want people to say, "Oh, Democrat this, the liberal this." No, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. First of all, Trump shitted on the veterans, and let's not go in truthful. Let's not go into fact checking. That's my opinion. If you're red or you're blue, that's great. Fine. My opinion is my opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. have refrained on talking about politics on Facebook because of the fact that as soon as I post anything regarding anything, people want to, people want to debate about it. Last night I put some of my results about. Shout out to Awilda. What's up, girl? Last night I put up about my heritage, my ancestry, and immediately almost started debates. That's not what I'm there for. I don't, like I said, I refrain putting politics stuff now unless I'm really passionate about talking about that topic. So yeah, I'm not gonna give these lame ass politicians that are running for president, the light. I mean, because I don't know if they suit the American people completely. No matter who you choose, no matter who you would side on, you're hated. If you wear a MAGA hat, you're called a racist. If you wear if you're supporting Biden, you're called stupid, dumb, and illiterate. It's sad. It's truly sad how the American people are divided on political parties, and at the end of the day, political parties are the last thing we should be worried about. It's what's going on with our economy. It seems that we forgot that COVID's still going on, and we're still wearing masks. Yeah, granted, we're in Jersey, and some of our sanctions and sanctions, because that's what I'm calling them, slightly have been lifted. Now we can go into restaurants and eat.
You can't.
But you still have to have a mask. Shout out to Richie. Yeah, I just had to mention Roberto Clemente today. It's a proud thing because speaking about Roberto Clemente, if anybody sees any of the his past interviews or reads, if they literally dive into the history of Roberto Clemente was always outspoken about racial injustice because he not only identified, as Puerto Rican, he was Puerto Rican. He also knew that he was a black Puerto Rican. So no matter where he went, he felt racial injustice. There was a story he once told that he went into a furniture store, and they told him to go downstairs and look at the furniture downstairs because of the skin color. They didn't indirectly tell that to him, and he goes, "Why can't I go upstairs?" Well, because we're not using that room right now. And once they realized who he was, they're like, "Well, we have 7 stores, and you can go upstairs." And he goes, "No, no, no. I want you to treat me as I'm anybody. I'm bringing money. I'm a customer. I want you to treat me right." So, make a long story short, he decided, I don't need your furniture. Like that story about Selena when they were, she went into the store to buy a dress the day of her, the day of she was going to get an award. They discriminated her, and when they realized who she was, they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She says, "Yeah, I don't want the dress now." True story. But Roberto Clemente, bro, I wrote earlier that he broke color barriers because he was the first Latin American to be, inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he wasn't Babe Ruth powerful. He wasn't Hank Aaron home run power. He wasn't a speed, monster like Lou Brock, but he was a little bit of everything. I mean, and he felt that he deserved more to be treated with more respect. He felt that we should all be treated with respect. And on his side, when he was on, when he wasn't playing baseball, he would help kids. He loved kids. He would give back, his time to the kids. And we all know that he was a humanitarian. He's lost his life on New Year's Eve while everybody was partying, hanging. He was trying to feed, Nicaragua, help Nicaragua that just was affected from an earthquake. So, it's really unique that we get to talk. I get to talk a little bit about him, just a little bit. And of course, he was definitely humble. He was, he didn't forget where he came from. He talked about saving up his pennies to get a bike. He's talked about making baseballs out of rubber bands, paper, tennis. His struggles, you know, reflected on the person he was and how he carried himself. So, shout out to him and paving the way for more Latin Americans, to keep fighting to be a part of the America's pastime we call baseball and we love. So my hat's off to him. He was a big inspiration on how I am outspoken, using a platform and always using it to do the better work. You know what I'm saying? What are your takes, my brother? I don't want to keep talking like last time. You keep going.
Nah, man, powerhouse. I mean, like, look who you talking about here. Icon. You know what I'm saying?
Legend. I mean,
Bruh.
and he was excited when he met Martin Luther King. He was humbled and he was proud when you stood him up next to Jackie Robinson. And they were both activists, and they made their mark in history. Color barriers, though they were not the official first. They were the official first to break those color barriers and be superstars in a game where it was dominated by white men. So that's the story about that. Back to my earthquake thing. I was sleeping and it literally woke the shit out of me. Like almost, I was sleeping and starting to get into that deep sleep, and I'm like, wow, what is that? And I said that had to have been an earthquake. Glad it wasn't, didn't destroy anything. Glad it was just, a shake. My understanding is it's God letting us know that he's still out there and he's still watching us in some sort of way, What's your take, my brother?
On the earthquake?
Yeah, about the earthquake. I posted earlier that's God's way of saying that, he's still out there.
Man.
Shaking everything up.
I slept through it, but I feel like one is imminent. I feel like that one was a wake-up call that it could happen any given time.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah, you can't, really predict when they coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, they unpredictable. Like, volcanoes as well, too. Like, once one of those erupt, bruh, like, get out of Dodge. Earthquake, where you really running to? You know what I'm saying?
Right? It's like, I just stood there with my blankets on me, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
What if the ground opens up right now in my house? And I'm like...
Especially if you've been through a tragic one before. Like California get them the worst. Like 9.9, bro. That's destruction.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Glad it wasn't bad, though.
Yeah,
hopefully everybody all right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, right here.
Guess just stepped
Two.
in the building.
We got 2 and 1 if you got another guest with you.
Stand up for this one.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got Eddie Bonds, Mr. Eddie Frank, community activist, and gives back to the community.
Did I let you go yet?
My brother.
Did I let him go, or I still got him?
Billy was like in a sappy, holy.
Oh shit.
He was Billy seemed to be in a little unsapped mood
Stop saying that.
when he first came in, and all of a sudden, when he seen Ed, he's in a better mood. I brought Ed. It was I was speaking about about this earlier. I gave somebody the platform because they were a community activist. Try to confirm yesterday. They said, yeah, called to, got a hold of the person today, and they couldn't make it. Anytime I'm given this platform, I try to use it to the best of my ability. To always use my voice and make sure it's heard. And the second person I inboxed, right away was Eddie because, he's a beacon of in the community. Over the weekend, he invited me to his All About My Grind football mini camp that he gives yearly. It's a sixth annual, and he just gives it to the kids. And due to COVID, it almost got canceled. But he said, "Screw it! I still want to hold it," and he decided to hold it anyway. And he invited me out there. And though I'm not as talented in football as he was, I still played football. And true story, on the practice field at Hamilton West, they were the big guys were playing, and they sent me out as cornerback. I'm pretty sure Eddie remembers that, and I was running and I stole the ball from them. I was I picked the quarterback off, and they were like, "No, who is this dude? Who's this fast dude?" And that's how they see who I was. But I went out there, just to chop it up, and anyway, I had my son with me, so he was running all over the place, but he got to see.
He was having a ball though.
Right, he had a ball. It was, and I thought it was amazing that, the kids got out. The kids, I'm talking about these football players. They're not little kids. I mean, these kids are hitting hitting things out there, throwing, running drills, and they're just humbled to be out there. And I felt so honored to be a part of that. Just chilling, just being there, and all these individuals look up to Eddie. I mean, passing down his abilities to play football and passing down to the future. Because right now some of these kids don't have that. COVID has stopped that. So kids either A, are home playing video games, B, home doing nothing, driving the parents nuts, eating whatever they want to eat, and the kids that came out looked like they were like in the best shape ever. I mean, these are high school kids, and they were bigger than me. So it was really humbling to be out there and be a part of that. Eddie, thank you, man. I give you much respect all the time for doing that. And the next day, you had even a bigger crowd.
Wow, it was just crazy. And it just kept. I was like, God, like the park rangers was like kept looking like, y'all didn't get no bathrooms. I'm like, nah. Then it just come back again. It was just getting more. Then like 20 people will leave, and then like 40 will come. Because then social media jumped on it. So it was like,
yeah. Sorry, I kind of was. Yeah, a lot of us was sharing it.
Yeah, it was just moving and moving and moving.
Sometimes that's how it happens.
Yeah, and it was not despair in the moment, but it was like you said, it was last minute because I was like kind of like, everything's going on with the world. So I was just like, I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I said, you know what, man, like, why not? Like. If it don't pop, it don't pop.
Exactly. But you had a good number of people there in the morning, and the next day it was like you said, you had almost 40 people there. It's maybe more.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was just like it was a lot of people.
I even got to see old man Hackett out there.
Yeah, like he
giving his
he didn't even get to come out the next day because it's always a different setup. Like it's funny because it's like always a different. Like it's one group that comes out Saturday, and then the other group comes out Sunday. And the group that comes out Sunday barely get anything. Like the Saturday group, they get Chick-fil-A. They get.
I know we got Chick-fil-A.
All this type of stuff.
We got drinks.
And then the Sundays is just like, dude, what I mean,
Chick-fil-A.
It don't matter. You get leftovers. And Chick-fil-A ain't on Sunday. Right. So but. Just to have you out there and just to see a little one, just to see the next generation of things, and then because that's what that camp's about. It's really just about even if 5 people came out there, I really don't care about the
But my son
numbers.
was enjoying it. You see,
Yeah.
I mean, he'd pick up the ball, run around, and
Yeah,
you know,
because
he was still stuck to me, but you know, he was able, you know, all right, Daddy, pick
but
me
he's
up.
not the only kid out there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like little kid, because the mothers come out. You know, at the first day, they kind of nervous. Like, well, you know, can we leave our kids with this guy? Then the second day, it's like, I don't even see. I don't think they stopped the car. I don't think they stopped the car. It's like I just hear the tires squeak.
Do the tuck and roll.
It's rolling. Wait, like, I need you to sign something. But other than that, it's like I said, like just our journey. Me seeing you there, seeing you know what I mean, bumping into Billy. It just I just want this last 6 months has just been
Whirlwind.
a movement.
Yeah.
Like from the statue thing to you doing your thing on like City Hall. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, and even when Dad was like, yo, like he was like, yeah, he last man, he's like, yeah, we over here. You know what I mean? And it was like, it just see people pitting things together, saying that we are really gonna take control of, you know, this story that's being told right now. We're not just sitting back. We're not just letting reporters take this. We're actually, you know what I mean, directing this movement. And, you know what I mean, like that, like I was telling you before, that statue being moved is just unbelievable.
It's the start.
Dope,
It's
like,
it's the start.
And the stuff that we're doing now is really that's gonna be in books.
I
It's
haven't
really
even
gonna
I
be-
haven't even started to elaborate and break down exactly what I'm working on because it's so much deeper. I mean, it not to cut you off, but it's so much deeper. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Ricky? What's up, Anna? Thank you for all for tuning in. Um, when I got an email over this weekend,
Yeah,
Sunday into Monday. It was actually this Sunday, and the emotion that overcame me, I broke down in my wife's arms.
wow.
I mean, legitimately. I mean, it gives me chills and it's tearing me up on what I'm going to do. I mean, I can't just drop the whole thing to the public yet. I want to be my foot. Well, I want my foot to be on on the home base when I drop that. You know that jewel,
I know.
and because I don't want anybody to derail it.
Right,
It's gonna happen, whether it happens this year,
right.
next year, the year before. It's not. It's going to happen, and it's unique to and synonymous to the movement that I help influence,
Yeah,
not just in Trenton,
right.
but around the country.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I wasn't just. It wasn't just me, but it was a collective amount of people.
To be a part of that.
Yeah, it was a collective amount of people who were synonymous and influential in getting the movement started about these statues. And it's starting to wake up people to open books, to research.
Right.
The people that I've educated in the last, 4 or 5 months. It's like, wow, I didn't know about this history. And I take pride in, being able to properly educate somebody on something that they didn't know that we should be known, that
Right.
should be known, that should be properly told in textbooks.
Right.
And on top of that, I recently did my DNA and it came back. And it came out that I wrote it down. I'm 25% Portuguese, 21% Spanish, 21% indigenous, 20% European, 11% African, and 2% Jewish. So I am the United Nations in one person. So very proudly and humble, I got Swedish and French, Ireland. in Africa, I mean, I'm the whole northern part, Ghana, Nigerian. You know, like it's insane. It's insane, but I'm proud. I'm proud.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I made a funny expert that now I know why I like African house music. My African roots are calling out like yo, you know, because I don't know, people don't know that I work a Cigar Sunday as security, and I walk through the crowd, you know, policing the masks or policing this or policing that. And when the music comes on, you know, I'm the only security guy that's knocking his head like, yo, that's my shit. And everybody loves the fact that I enjoy the music. You know, that's the best part of seeing me. It's like, damn, Ralph is like, he's sitting there enjoying the music with us.
Right.
And, you know, it's, you know, Black Coffee. I don't know if people know who Black Coffee is. And featuring Boosie, you know, that's, you know, African DJ and producer of house music. And, I mean, I love his music.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud, really, really proud and humbled that, yes, now I know. Now I can say, yeah, that's the reason why I like this music. You know, so.
So it's been in your blood the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just needed that. I need that confirmation. So when I go and say, hey, this is me, you know, when somebody, you ain't black. Well, 11% is, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk about my 11%. It's a small percentage. It's still 10%, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, I was definitely proud to be out there seeing you know, teach some of these kids, you know, pass down your knowledge of the game that you love so much. You know, you were, I don't know if Billy knows that you were all American, all state, all county, you know, football. I mean, I don't know have you been inducted in the Hall?
Yeah, I got it.
So you're a Hall of Fame, you know, local hero. You know what I'm saying? So not a lot of people know that about you.
Because
and you're humble about it.
My whole thing is, it's the next step.
It's the future.
What's next? You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm old and I'm sitting when I'm old and I'm sitting on the porch, that's when I'm going to talk the most. Like I was good.
Right, exactly.
Right now it's like, what's next?
Right.
What's could be the next step to being to another level where all of us could eat to make the. I need to bring something to the table when we breaking bread. I can't just eat your food. I can't just eat. I need to bring something to the table. So my whole mindset is when people talk about community and this and that, I'm gonna just be honest. Like they're not front line. So it's kind of irritating to see them people speak on people that they don't see or they're not really involved. They might have came from that community. Me and you had a conversation about some things, but you're more in tune than
I'm more awake to
yeah. So it's like these people they criticize, they say things, and then they go, oh, look, their last back is oh, he's not from here, or I'm like, well, that's horrible, because you know what I'm thinking when you think like that? That's the same thing that you said about your daddy that left you and then your stepfather stepped up. Like he's the one that didn't have to do it, but he did it. I'm more appreciative to people that didn't have to do it than I am of people that's supposed to do it, because it's like my role as a father, what I do for my children is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I don't need acknowledgement for it. I don't need nothing. But if they had a stepfather and they was doing things for them, I would be like, yo, I appreciate that too as well, you know, because he didn't have to do it. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm very sensitive with my kids. I'm like, yeah, he got it, daddy. But other than that.
But your kids, listen, not only your kids are big. I mean, listen, they're gonna be, they may not be the embodiment of you, but they are gonna be almost like you, if not. They're gonna strive to be as better than you. You know what I'm saying?
Better already. He's already better. He's more focused. Like me, I was.
Yeah, I like their different personalities.
Yeah, they're very diverse. They're very focused. I mean, the one is very focused. The other one is like live life. Like you know what I mean. If you, and I'm like, I don't care if you play ball or not. I think I came up here and said that when we was talking about our kids. I don't care if he plays ball or not. I care if he be productive and be fruitful
We just want our kids to be
and
great.
to be good at whatever he does. To really apply it, dedicate himself to it, and that's whatever find his purpose and gift, and I mean whatever they find their purpose, just to go 110% out of it. Now that I realize the difference between the other cultures and my culture is like when we make mistakes of financial mistakes, we can't go back home because mommy done sold the house and she like you know what I'm saying or something like that or. A lot of these kids don't have nothing to go back home, so every decision is like
It got to be a calculated
yeah, it got to
decision.
be real calculated, and so it becomes hesitant. But when I noticed me personally, I was like, well, how did I get all these things? Because I never had no fear of okay, if I go worst come to worst, I go back on the couch for a little couple, get myself together, and then go back in the world and fight again. Because a lot of people don't even have those options. So it makes them real, sensitive on taking steps forward. But I look at it like I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like God put that on my heart to do it. Like I gotta do this. Like they I mean people could feel away. Like I said, like people that's in doing things and for the community. I'm like some of the stuff I'll be like, yo, that's cross promoting. I went to school for that. Don't play with my people like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're not genuine, I really mean this. So it's like you doing certain things. It's irritating, but I look at the benefit. Okay, if you cross promote, they still get let's say if it's sneakers, they still get the sneakers. So just I have to remove my mind from that way. And I'm like, okay, but it's like wow, like you really trying to capitalize. Then so to be around like people like y'all that like really sincerely care. I'm more excited about getting in the game and playing because I think a lot of these politicians and things should just be played as sideline and
Well, I
do what
feel
they
like
should do.
I feel
Some
like
of them, because some of them are
yeah,
great.
some of them are sincere, and some of them are just there to collect the check, and just keep the machine going. And I'm not taking any particular town, city, township. Not it's, I'm talking about politics in general.
Yeah,
We all know politics is a touchy thing. We all know that politics. When you hear politicians, you're like, oh, keep them arm's length. You know what I'm saying? And then when people like us, and I'm
Right.
saying I'm referring to people like us because
Right.
we're not supposed to be talking about even
Not even
protesting,
nah,
marching
no,
or activism in trying to facilitate real change in our communities.
right,
Because people don't want that.
no,
Some people don't want that. And, they see us as threats. 1,000%, I'm going to say this again. They see us as threats because not only we're educated, but we are sincere and we're uncorrupted. And they see that as a threat because we can actually facilitate change. We use our platforms to, lay the foundation, and bring the world to the center of what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing Billy out there protest, seeing him at the school for his kids, congratulating 100 men, that the future is seeing these, they don't want to see that.
no,
You know what I'm saying? When you're passing down your talent to the next generation, they don't want to see that. They want to see the narrative. They want to see these prisons filled. They want to see us oppressed. You know what I'm saying? I speak from experience. I'm not supposed to be where I'm at.
Right.
I'm supposed to be a statistic. My father, a heroin addict. May his soul rest in peace. My mom, I'm not going to get into that with my mom. But at one time, I was in a foster home. And one time I was going from one family to another. I was poor. I ate onions and mayo as a meal. That's how dirt poor I was. Looking out the window and seeing, I think Russian kids jumping into a dumpster to try to get food. And me thinking to myself, man, I'm not like that. But I was just like that, except I had a roof over my head. You know what I'm saying? Like but I wasn't. I was more. All right, I'm not gonna jump into the trash to get food. I would literally go sell my baseball cards to bring food to my brother, my mom, my sister, and myself. In an apartment with no electricity. True story.
Wow.
So I'm not, I'm humble, and seeing the racism, going through all that, having a gun in my head at 12, 13 years old, it changes you. Being thrown in jail for no reason, it changes you. Being called, racial derogatory names because you are who you are, being profiled by the police because who you are, what you are, and you've been there. People picking on me. I was new to the school, and of all the people that had my back, you were number one that had my back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's almost 25 years later, we're sitting here being able to tell the story and try to create real physical change using our, platforms to end that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So our future don't go through that.
You wasn't always innocent, though. So
Absolutely not.
All right.
I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't always. I wasn't always a great kid, but
I used to be like, what happened?
I have to use that. I have to say, listen, I'm a product of my own, my own environment. Not having your mom, you're having your mom in prison for 3 years, not having your father there, not having somebody to guide you, you're seeing racial injustice, being arrested for something you never even did. Truthfully, it took me 2 years to clear my name.
Wow.
Cause
you know what though? What I always say, like, when I do speaking engagement, you never know someone's story. Mm-hmm. You never know. I mean, like, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that. Me personally, I didn't know I was.
I was an adolescent. I was a bad kid, but
I didn't know
I turned out to be
to our neighborhood. When my mom moved to middle class, it was like, whoa. And like, you ain't got the pool in your yard? What?
I don't have a pool in my yard. In fact, I cut my grass at 8 o'clock at night before I came up.
That's what I was about to do.
Before, I took advantage of the sun not being around. So,
Yeah. Like, I remember going to my friend Mike Fletcher. His mom came out these big ass sandwiches. And I'm like, yo, I wanted to be there forever. Like, we never got any of that stuff. And she's like, oh, you want some more? You want some more? I ate so many sandwiches, I jumped in the pool. I almost drowned, and Mike saved me. He's like, yo, what you doing, man? I forgot where I jumped in the pool at because he had the safety part. I couldn't swim too good. You know what I'm saying? I'm black. So, like, I ain't.
Don't ever use that as
me. I'm all the stereotypes besides the rest.
Don't be like.
I'm like, I'm a percentage of the stereotypes, and I don't. It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And at first I used to be trying to fight that part, like, all right, you this, you that. But I'm like, yo, God put on my heart one day, like a preacher told me, he's like, yo, you know what? You have to be 100% you to make change. Like, you can't adapt to these people or do this. So if this is what you do, you have my goal in your heart, you got to be 100% you. Because if you're not 100% you, you're not going to be effective the way you need to be effective.
Anything you
because
radiate
that borderline conversation that
sincere.
you might be telling of not, when you being gutter, it won't transition the right people. Absolutely. So it's like, when I was told that, it was like I was like this because I was in a phase of like, God, I want to be, you know, I want to be more, in tune of everything. And it's like, no, this. Then it's like this man specifically told me like, yo, God put on my heart to tell you this. You gotta be all the way you because some people don't understand change, and some people don't. You gotta be the transition sometimes. You gotta be the I know this part and I know that part. Cause some people want to help, they just don't. They don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like that story that you just said. Some people were looking at this show like, what? You went through that for somebody like us? It's like, okay, yeah. And we got similar stories. If you know what I'm saying. If we didn't go through them, we seen our cousin go through them, or we see our best friend go through them. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
we're pretty much from the same
yeah,
neighborhood.
we have the same, parallel story. Like I tell people all the time, I didn't know I was poor till I moved.
I grew up around Columbus
Yeah,
Park.
right. So then it's like that's what I always tell people now. You know what I mean? Set your standard. Get what you gotta get because that's what it is. It's about setting standards. It's about setting standards for yourself. Like certain things that you won't take. Like with me, I feel like the world is cheating because I feel like the world is cheating because I gotta stick to this code. I gotta stick to morals. I gotta do this morally, and you get to do whatever you want to do because you just denying everything that you are. I don't understand why you didn't win the game yet. To me, you know what I mean? When I'm playing with this, it's not even a handicap. It's just the way that I want to win the game. Because if I win it any other way, I won't. I have to look at myself. I have to look at my children. I have to look at the things that I created. Because like the energy and how important the energy is as I get older. It's like, yo, no, you got to build that same energy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like no matter what was going on in my life, when my daughter came in the room, I couldn't give her the same energy that I just gave the world because she needs a different energy from me. She expects a different energy. If I don't have that energy, she's gonna grab to the energy that I have. Oh, so what's wrong with that? Now she becomes sad. Now she becomes disturbed. Now it's like, okay, you gotta control your energy. You gotta know what you're putting out there. You know what I mean?
You have to set that example.
You gotta accept the example, and you gotta be like, okay, you got. It's not like with me, like I put these big goals up, but I'm not that important. So then once I keep telling myself like I ain't that important. I mean, I'm not that important. I'm not that important. So if I'm saying I'm not that important, if I'm looking at it as a whole, I could be more effective. But if I'm like, oh, well, the brand of me, I'm more effective on my I'm going to be. I'll keep worrying about the brand. I am the brand regardless. You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, they be like, well, who do you look up to? I ain't know about who I looked up to. I looked up to like people like DMX. To me, he was like the freest person to me. I seen this man cry on the stage
I mean, he's an
then,
example
like,
of
he was just free.
real what he's been through a hell of a lot of stuff.
Hell,
I mean,
he
he's
just
been
but,
he's still here today.
but he's free. It's not that he's not boxed in, and that's my whole thing of just being a person of being free, not just saying what you want because you want to say it. Just being free of just saying, this is what I stand for. This is what I am. This is my path. This is my journey, and I'm going to take it the way I want to take it. Like, like dealing with politics and everything else, and dealing with even being a person of being an activist or whatever. They want you to be in this box. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be in this box because they put you in this box. That's why I always tell the people about being superheroes and all that. That's why the people always wanted to have a mask. I used to think it was the mask because they didn't want to show their identity or this. No, because when I'm being effective, I don't need you to know who I am. But when I want to live my regular life, I could live my regular life without the mask. But if you put both of us in the room and you see my face, so it's like no matter what, that people don't see the change, that you're not at your job no more. You're not at here. So it's like, they don't transition. That's why I said about being security. People want to approach you at Walmart in the frozen food aisle and like,
We talked about, yeah.
yo, why you kick me out the club? I'm with my kids, man. It's a different place.
I got a different hat on.
It's a different hat on. They don't accept it, so that's why the superhero puts the mask on. That's why this is not. But as us as people, we don't got no mask. So it's like boom, boom, boom. But your mentality got to be the mask. Like, nah, I'm not even going to approach this, and I'm not even going to get that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got 4 kids, so it's like everyone has a different, grabbing a different way of thinking. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you talk to this one is like you could put pressure on. The other one, like, you got to, like, no, you got to encourage. Because, not that the confidence is all the way off, but some of them is. At points, one son's confidence was like, if he misses shots, like, the world is over. The other one is like, he misses a shot, he like, I'm just got you caught me on a bad angle. Give me the ball again. The other one like, man, nah, I'm gonna keep passing. So one, you might have to keep giving the ball and tell him just keep shooting, so he doesn't take it personal. And the other one, you have to mellow him out. Then you got the in between. Then
And sometimes you have to be that one to take that shot.
Yeah, you gotta be. But you gotta not care about the shot. If it doesn't go in, it's not all the world is over.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, this is the game. You know what I mean?
That's that, and it's. I definitely can relate to that. We'll say a couple months ago, something was was being talked about, and somebody said something back to me, and I said, wait a minute, why am I gonna fight this when the argument's over?
Right.
So let me step back. If it's their time to shine, let their time to shine, and let the sun radiate through them. I said, let me step back. But then I understood I had a deeper purpose, and a different understanding, and my path was going somewhere else.
That's another
This is
thing.
when he pulled me back and said, "Yo, you're going somewhere else.
Right.
This is not only about you, but this is around you.
Right.
You're going this way. You're and he like simplify things because he's seen that how stressed I was about it.
Right.
And he goes, "Yo, just accept it. This is where you go."
And that's him being the energy that you needed. Makes simplifying it. Like I tell people all the time. I say this. I'll be like, when you arguing with somebody, okay, what's the best that you're gonna get out of it? Would you expect this person to be like, you know what, you're right? Then what happens after that?
Exactly.
What happens after that? Nothing.
Nothing.
So when I go in situations, I'm like, well, what am I getting out of it if I'm right or wrong or whatever? What is it? How's it going to change? How's it going to change anything that was going on? And then now it's like, I use my energy as like fuel. Like I can't waste all the gas on you.
Exactly.
Going with you.
Absolutely.
Want me to go? I filled up the tank. I want to take you everywhere you want to go. So you want to take me everywhere you want me to go mentally, and drive you around mentally. Then when I'm thinking about myself again, I'm drained. I gotta fill up the tank again. Nah, I'm good. So I'm good. So when they go, I understand.
That's an awesome analogy.
Yeah, I'm
right?
good.
It's insane.
I'm
because
good. Like, cause you wasting a lot of gas on a lot of unnecessary stops mentally, and what messes with you mentally. Messes with you physically, spiritually. They all one body of, you know what I'm saying? So if one is off, because that's what life really is, balance. It's not about being perfect anywhere. It's about just balancing out. Balancing your home life, your finances, where you want to go. It's all about balance.
This why I was saying, listen to this dude just talk.
Oh man, listen. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
And
So if
it's actual facts.
And it goes back to what before he got on here. I said I don't put any more political statements out there no more because everybody puts so much energy into
See
it.
how fast I shut mine down when you asked me. You said, "What's your take on the politics?"
And I just
And you had more of that energy than I did. You know what I'm saying? Like back to having gas for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you were filled up. You know what I'm saying? So you drove it, to a great distance, and you didn't run out of gas. You was like, "This is just where I stop."
exactly.
I'm not about to go down, the wrong road to, radical
Because
ideas with everybody
how
else.
many times can we have the same argument with the same people
I ain't had
over the
gas
same?
for it.
Well, you know what I'm saying? How many times? I mean, over the past couple months, how many times can I put up a similar story and let the similar people?
That's why I didn't want to take nothing away from Andre. Like I didn't want to take nothing away from Andre because he was genuinely asking.
Yes.
So like I knew that it wasn't no just a ruffle.
Well,
feathers, whatever.
Andre knows he can
But,
call in at any time.
I'm like, at the same time, promote a guest, call in. Like,
I mean, listen,
what's your take on it?
if you want to call in and ask some questions,
I think he said no.
I mean, like I just really, really feel that at this time in your life that you don't got time to be stressing over unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't got time to be wasting because you could have doubled up on something else.
Every time he speak is always where I'm at. Like when we had last got into a deep conversation in front of City Hall, it just happened to be where I was at. And I'm like, man, some people be put into your life, for a reason. I reached out to him recently. I was like, here go my number, store me in. And when he texted me, I realized I had already had him stored in.
Yeah.
So it was like a seed that was planted. It was just like X for the number, lock him in. And I forgot that I had even did it. But it was like a reassurance of, cool, I got your number. You know what I'm saying? Because like you need somebody like this, like not just in your phone, but you got to be like in your top 10, top 5.
well, he already knows he already knows he's on the he knows. I mean, this is what in the last 4 months. This is
That's
probably
what I'm saying.
this is the last.
We've
This-
all been
we've always been
connected.
bumping
And
each
you know
other.
what's crazy?
Highlight about you.
That we all like. I would see him. I'll never see y'all together except here. But I
Well,
would see
it's
him,
like
and when
we
I see
can't-
him,
we
I see
can't-
him in the hood, and I'm
We
like,
can't have
yeah,
the presidents and the vice presidents together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, right.
This is really like our really only common ground. Like you see his energy, like any given day, my energy is the same
Right.
way. So it's hard. It's like trying to put two magnets together, but we definitely come together. Definitely for the show, and we happen to do that one particular show where we just took the time to just highlight you, man. And I went in, he went in, and it was.
Oh,
just,
man, I
like,
ain't-
it's just like your presence, just.
and sometimes you're not even watching. We just sometimes we just lay up on you and say, hey, yo, man, more people have to be should be like you.
I mean, like I said, like it's just about with me. Like if I was trying to be someone else, if I was trying to not it's like you trying to be somebody, you try to better yourself. So you look at that as being a different. It's ways to better yourself. But my thing is, I want to be the best me. I don't want to be the best anything else. So with whatever the best I have to give to this world, I want to leave this world empty. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to teach. That's what the camp's about. It's just about teaching things that because when you gone and you taking those last breaths, you can't teach nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? When you hold on to your, so it's like with me, I'm like, yo, it's not about having, it's about giving. And you know what I'm saying? And then like your life always, like Bills has always played with the enemy. Like when I say that, it's like Bills will have you focus on stuff that's not even going to even matter 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Like I think about the stuff like that's on when I'm on my deathbed. Like, do I care that I paid the car insurance? No. Now it's forget that car. You know what I'm saying? What do you want? My family.
Absolutely.
What do you want? You know what I'm saying? I want my children. I want to see my children. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Or give me or some cheesecake. Simple things. It's not the big things, but we start making this tunnel vision. If we don't have this by a certain time, if we ain't doing this by a certain time, if we ain't and it's all us.
Absolutely.
And then what you do is, people do is, they picture their insecurities on you, then expect you to accomplish their insecurities. Like,
Is
how
that
wild is
deep?
that?
Is that deep?
Hey, yo, he don't understand the broad range of jewels that he on.
Yo, he's dropping knowledge.
Yo, do you get that though? Like,
You on a
do you
broad
really like you holding on to someone's insecurities? And I'm not even talking. I mean, like, I don't want to say people, mother, our parents, or
No, you're
relationships.
talking about in general.
You know, in general,
a general
but
aspect.
even if you pit, you're supposed to be at this level, then you think, okay, no. How about when I get there, I get there. When the time for me to be there is going to be the time for me to be there. So it's like, when you going to blow up? When I blow up.
Exactly. When you're
it
it's your
pops.
time. It's your time.
He like a walk-in spiritual research, and I'm gonna say that I gotta put them two different words together, because I can't just define Eddie. So I was coming up with these words inside my head as he's talking. He's like a real spiritual research. Now I'm gonna say that because everything that he says comes from the spirit. Like when you mention his name, that you already have an energy. That's why we mentioned him on the show. Our energy was already there. And mentioning his name already fit that narrative. We wasn't feeling down in the dumps or arguing and then mention Eddie. It was the height of the interview, and we mentioned him, and it connected with.
It went from here. It went the interview on our memo on our intro went from here to up here,
and
because that's the energy
what
we
mentioned.
Yeah.
And then I say research at that, because nobody got to know when you researching and you open them books. I've been inside the books lately, so to answer.
But you've been in books.
But to answer your question, it's like, yo, you've been right. Like, this is that third. I'm digesting everything, that I'm learning. So I apologize to the viewers as well, but so I'm learning more. Like I'm listening more than I'm speaking. And a lot of the things I've been researching is just a broad range of things. And just listening to Eddie talking, I'm like, he was in this book. That everything he said was in this. Everything he said in this. I'm like, yo, you're like a real, just walking research. You got information in abundance, and I feel like every time you open your mouth, you're gonna affect the soul, whether you realize it or not.
You know what's crazy? Like how you just said that you was listening to things. I spent majority of until I was like in my 20s listening. I wasn't saying too much. Even when Ralph, I would say, like, when situations was occurring, I would just simplify, leave him alone. Like, don't do that, or yo, just go this way. I spent my whole, and my mother was always good at telling me, like, they thought I couldn't talk to people, but I was always analyzing. It's always.
Yeah, it's a difference. Like, antisocial to a person is analyzing. Antisocial just, they don't want to be bothered. They need the information to open their mouth. When you analyze it, you go open your mouth at any given time, but you're listening more and speaking, because the world is information to you.
Shout outs.
Man, shout outs to you, man. Shout out to Hamilton Radio. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, all my family and friends. The most important shout out, man, to all of this goes to this end of the room right here, man, to Eddie. Continues to be an inspiration and a beacon on my life. It's important that I have him in the phone. It's important that I just have him, inside the network. I don't want to, encompass him, man. Like his soul is just completely all mine. Like he's for the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that'd be the story with the fish. You admire the fish, you take it out the water, you want to hug the fish, you want to take care of the fish, but you don't realize that you're killing the fish because you took it out of his water. So I'm like, okay.
That's deep. I like that. You have to. I like that.
Eddie's spirit is just not just solely ours. You can't be selfish, man. Eddie is here for the world, man. So it's like, dang, this is nature's gift, to us, having a person like this.
Eddie, your shout outs.
I just want to just tell everybody, just shout out to everybody that's going through something, and just keep pushing. I mean, just know that life just, a lot of pain is temporary. 90%, 95% of pain is temporary. Just keep pushing through it. You know what I'm saying? And just keep getting motivated by life and this journey. Like, it's a journey. Don't fall in with the goal. Fall with the journey of the goal. And shout out to everybody that's taking steps forward to greatness. And yeah, I think that's it. And, you know, God be the glory, God. I just think when I know I'm supposed to say this real quick. I'm gonna just say this real quick because I had to say it to him, man, when I was listening, man. When you pray and you say your prayers, when you ask for protection, make sure you tell them to protect you from you. That's an important part of a prayer. I always have to say that. Please, God, protect me from my enemies and protect me from me. Because I was in the self-destruction, point. You self-destruct sometimes, so that's,
You know what I mean? That prison.
Right.
Prison.
Shout out to everybody tuning in. We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Ralphie Rotten, also known as DJ Noise. Shout out to this man. Shout out to this man. Both of them.
Sorry, Mom. She told
shout
me
out to Billy. Shout out to Eddie.
Oh yeah, Jossie. Make sure you.
And
you and her taking over the world. It seemed like
special shout out to Eddie for on that when that statue was coming down.
Yeah.
He came out and it was great to have somebody.
The cameraman kept trying. The news people kept trying to interview me. I'm like, listen, this the guy that. And I was trying
to skate away, but he was like, no, I want to hear that again. So I was like, but shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to to those who want to make change and want to see change. We'll see you next week. I'm Ralph Ryan, also known as DJ Noise. I'm my right hand man, and Eddie. Shout out to Hamilton Radio.
Mom, you tuned in all late. Love you, Mom.
We're out.
She all late.
Ruben, we can